Hey guys, welcome back. Bushcraft with an interesting video today. And it has to do with AI. And I've been doing a little testing and research on some of the AIs that are out there and seeing what they think of some of the meanings of Bible verses in the Bible and what they think they are. And it's very interesting if you have them create images of what they think a verse means that is in the Bible. Now, one of the most popular ones in our times right now is, the whole chapter, Revelation 13. Mainly because, there's some silly people that think that Trump is the beast or the Antichrist or the false prophet. Yeah, we'll just leave it there. That being said, I'm going to go ahead and read the first 4 verses of 13. There's so much more into this that we could dive into and whatnot, but if you've never read the Bible or studied Revelation, it starts at 1 and it moves its way up throughout the whole book. So it's like it has stages of how it progresses. So that being said, it doesn't skip from 3 to 13 just out of the blue. So when these things are happening, we have to start from the beginning and go toward the end, right? You don't skip to the middle. That being said, let me go ahead and read this. Revelation 13, 1 through 4. The dragon stood on the shore of the sea and saw a beast coming out of the sea. It had 10 horns and 7 heads, with 10 crowns on its horns, and on each head a blasphemous name. The beast I saw resembled a leopard, but had feet like those of a bear, a mouth like a lion. The dragon gave the beast his power and his throne and great authority. One of the heads of the beast seemed to have a fatal wound. This is where they get it from. But the fatal wound had been healed. The whole world was filled with wonder and followed the beast. People worshiped the dragon because he had given authority to the beast, and they also worshipped the beast and asked, "Who is like the beast? Who can wage war against it?" Now, there's so much more to this that needs to be read and everything, but we're not going to go into too much of it. The chapter contains 4 of the most iconic concepts contained in Revelation. The 2 beasts described here are figures often referred to as the Antichrist and the false prophet. Those meaning the same thing, but we won't go too much more into that, but I want to show you something else here. Let me go ahead and switch to our other page here. We're going to go to some AI. And I used chat, what is it? Chat GPT. Now, for some odd reason, they took off the religion part of it, I guess. So if you ask religion questions to create an image of it, it can't figure it out for some reason. So they removed that. Don't know why. I've asked it questions to create an image of whatever. And, well, okay. Let's ask Grok here. This is the AI for X, aka Twitter. Make an image of what you think the meaning of 13. And I don't know if I type that right, but we'll find out. It's going to, yep, it's making images. Now this is totally right off the cuff. I didn't have this pre-made or anything, and these are the images that it is coming up with. Now I find it very interesting. We're going to enlarge these here. Hopefully it shows up on the screen. Yeah, there we go. Now, you see these, and this is what AI thinks this beast will look like. You see all the heads, and you also can kind of make out some of the words that are supposed to be on. It's supposed to be on the horns, but this is the first one. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. Can't really make out the horns, but yeah. And this is coming out of the sea. Our next image is a closer up one, and you can tell it actually has more horns. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Well, can't really tell which ones are these are horns and which one are the ones behind it. Now, you don't see any writing on these ones here. And it's more, these things are more like the dragons than anything. We can't see their feet or, you know, excuse me, anything like that. Our third image is totally different. Go ahead and get some water out of here. And again, if you was to try to interpret some of this, I wouldn't suggest it or anything like that. This, you can see that it does have the 7 heads. It doesn't have the 7 horns. Doesn't have the 10 crowns or anything like that. But you can see that there are things written on this, and this could be something for somebody to dig into and try to interpret some of this. I do see right off the bat, the first one right up there says "it." If you remember the movie, and I think, yeah, this is our last one here. Okay. Now, you remember it resembles a leopard. We don't kind of see that a little bit, but it, again, these are writings on the heads and everything. And you notice in all these pictures they have these lightning and storms brewing and whatnot. But that is that first one right there, um, and this was make an image of what you think the meaning of Revelation 13 is, and there's a lot more to Revelation just from 13 to than about this, but we can go ahead and copy this and go to a different verse of Matthew 24, I do believe. And let's see if it creates, it's going to create 4 images. And we could dive into this really good. Oh, we're actually going to get some people. Now, let me bring up let me go ahead and read this before we look at the images. Matthew 24:24. And for false messiahs or false Christ, it depends what you're reading, and false prophets will arise and will provide great signs and wonders so as to mislead, if possible, even the elect. Okay, now let's go ahead and go to the first one. Now, this is kind of, and you notice we got that lightning in the background again. I'm looking at this crowd. Besides very short guys there, I do not see any women in this picture. And it looks like he is being followed by an enormous crowd. Let's go ahead and go to the next picture and see if we see anything noticeable. It kind of looks like a pope or somebody dressed as a pope. It looks like there's cathedral in behind. I'm not suggesting anything. This is AI that's generating this, so it's something very interesting to think about. Matthew 24:24. Why would they pop up an image of what looks like a pope? Or, yeah, would say other things, but I don't want to. Yeah, we'll just keep going. Oh wow! You kind of see a little haze coming off the back, and we got actually a woman in this one. So, and this looks like somewhere in the Middle East. Well, it kind of does. He looks like he comes from the Middle East. He does look, he could be Muslim. Some of these buildings looks like what's left in Gaza, and does look like a lot of the people, even though I do believe the women have their head covered over there. I'm not mistaken. Other than that, you can't really, and it does look like he has the followers. A lot of people are following this guy. And you might also look at his features and say, oh, he looks like a certain person that you might know, or somebody that is famous. Let's go ahead and go to the third one here. Or no, this is the fourth one, yeah. Again, he looks like he is talking to a group of people, and it does look like it's somewhere in the Middle East by the buildings and whatnot. The clothing on the people do not look the same as him. Again, they could consider this guy a holy man of some sort, and that would be the false Messiah, false prophet-ish type. Again, he looks like he's speaking to the crowd, and it's very interesting. And these are some of the images that we came up with. Now, we could ask this again. We could copy this down and ask this again, and it would come up with totally different images. Let me go ahead and capitalize that, because there we go. I feel better that way. We'll go ahead and take a look at another run of Matthew 24:24. Oh, wow. Kind of the same. Kind of the same concept. Again, I'm not trying to point out one thing or the other and mislead people on the religions or anything like this, but this guy looks like Roman Catholic-ish type. You know, what a younger pope would look like. His attire. I don't know. And we got the dark, cloudy sky again. Can't really make out the buildings in the behind, so we're not going to focus too much on that. Let's go ahead to the next image. And you see how I find it amazing that a few of these, they have, it's all men, and I'm sure you can dig into the Bible and it will talk about this, but we're not going to get into this. But the background suggests that it is kind of like the older Roman style stuff. It could be some areas over in the Middle East that are still standing, that they are gathering to follow this guy. And you can see that they have different types of clothing on and whatnot, and you really can't make out the features of their faces. You can see that they have eyes and mouth and nose, but it's almost like the crowd is blurred, that they're focused into this guy. Okay, let's go to the next one. And this guy, again, looks like a Pharisee. Could be Muslim. And this does look like a Middle Eastern area. By the ruins in the background, it does look like Gaza. It really does. And these guys seem to be following this guy. He's not talking or anything. He's just standing there with a bunch of people behind him. It looks like his followers. Let's head to the next one. And this looks like an older gentleman. Can't really make out the backgrounds. It does look like it's a possible Middle Eastern type area. And again, not seeing the women in this one, only men. And they are more dressed like him. This guy seems like a more of an Iranian type guy. Tell me what you guys think about these images. Let me go ahead and close that out. And those are the ones for that. And I think we're going to go ahead and end it here. And if you would want me to do some more of this, go ahead and post some interesting Bible verses, and maybe I'll give it a look. And we'll see what AI thinks of what it thinks of the Bible verses and the meanings behind it and the creating of the images. Now I can ask it, what do you think of whichever Bible verse it is, and it'll type out its own meaning of what it thinks. But I think it's more interesting to look at the images of what it thinks. So, until next time, like always, God bless.